Hey everyone out there on YouTube. So this video is a educational and fun video on Ehlers Danlos syndrome, or commonly known as EDS. There are many types, and this is not my first video on it, but my second. So Ehlers Danlos syndrome, what the hell is it? It is a connective tissue disorder. Some people say it's a mitochondria defect. Sometimes it's just random. Sometimes you get it from your mother's side. Sometimes you get it from both. I don't really know where the hell you get it from, but all we know is that our proteins are messed up and they are no longer hard, but they are soft and squishy. So, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, pretty much what is it? It is, like I said, it's a mitochondria defect, but how does it affect you? It affects everything. It affects your skin, it affects your bones, it affects your hair, it affects your nervous system, it affects everything. You want to know why? Because everything is made up of protein in your body. And I swear my bones were rubber when I was growing up because I could do crazy things like fall out of trees and get my ankles stuck in bicycle spokes, and I never broke a bone. But you know what? Touch my skin the wrong way and it comes off like nothing. It's like tissue paper. EDS is not fun. For the people that don't know that you have it yet, but you think you may, some of the signs and symptoms of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome are cool things like even just the way you look. One of the signs is large eyes like this, and then a thin nose, and then a small upper lip, and then a big bottom lip, and that's some of the features, quote unquote. Other things you can have. So I have classical type, which is type 1 and 2 put together. It primarily involves the skin and stuff surrounding that. So let's say my skin is super soft and velvety and squishy and doughy, and I can like fold it and I can pull it and it snaps back, or even up here it's like, oh, look at that muscle. Nope, not really, because it's elastic, including on my neck and places that it's not supposed to be, like on your chest, stuff like that. Or I mean, yeah, I don't even want to do this because it's going to mess up my eye makeup, but like your face, places it's not supposed to be. So that is that's everywhere too. That's not just your skin, that's inside. So one of the great things about EDS is that I have pretty much pelvic organ prolapse. So every organ inside of that area is falling down because everything is stretchy like this and it's very weak. So it just like is gone. Now how old am I now? I'm 27 years old. I had a baby, but I had it via C-section, and it never touched that area. So, some people are like, oh, well, you have that because you had a baby. And I'm like, actually, no, I had it because I'm broken and I have this fun disease that everybody gets to deal with. So one of the newest things that I got to find out with EDS is, people are always like, oh, well, when you have scars, they heal, very slowly. And, I can show you that right here on my stomach. This one is like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like 2 years old, but it looks like it's opened up a couple times. That is actually from my total hysterectomy that I had about 2 years ago, because I had horrible adhesions and endometriosis that my doctors had never seen before, and found out that that's part of it too. Hello, adhesion, scar tissue forms because your body's freaking out. But anyways, yeah, people are like, oh, your scars can open up. Well, I figured that out. They can. Another thing that goes with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is Chiari malformation. It's primarily in women. What is Chiari malformation? It's when your brain or your foramen magnum, is herniating through your foramen magnum, or the opening of your head hole, and it's going down into your neck. So that can cause tremendous headaches. It can cause everything from numbness to nausea to not being able to walk very well. And, I had all the above. It was horrible. And normally people find it when you're a little kid. But nobody ever did tests on me because they were just like, oh, this 5-year-old has headaches 24/7. That must be fucking normal, It's not. If your kid's complaining of headaches, go get them tested. Anyways, so we got that figured out. They did the decompression surgery, which is when they go through and they cut open the back of your skull and they remove part of the bone, and then they remove the C1 and C2 vertebrae. That way it makes room for the tonsils to come through. And I had it on November 10th, and it's been about a month now, but 3 weeks after it, no, 2 weeks after it, I kept telling the surgeon, I have Ehlers Danlos syndrome. He's like, oh yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's good. Dude didn't even know what I was talking about. Found that out later. Anyways, so he only did like 2 sets of stitches. Well, he only left him in for like a week. I went back. I said, you need to leave him in longer. He's like, oh no, it's going to be fine. We're just going to take them out. It's going to be fine. They took them out. I came home to heal. My freaking incision opened up. I got a staph infection inside of my CSF fluid, or cerebral spinal fluid. I had to be in the hospital for 12 days because somebody was just like, yeah, let's take these incisions out, even though she's going to open up. And it happened. So luckily, I went to a great hospital in Houston, and they sewed me back up, and everything is wonderful. But make sure you tell your doctors that you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and that stuff can open up, because you know what? It will, and it can, and it's a pain in the butt, and it can almost kill you. So be careful, okay? That's what I learned this past time. Another thing that I learned is that you don't respond well to antibiotics. Some of them can kind of kill you, like Rocephin. You can have random anaphylaxis. You're allergic to all this random crap. Nobody has any idea. You have all these weird side effects. You metabolize drugs super quickly. Just super weird stuff. Besides like the normal, like, oh, look at this, my finger can bend backwards, or like, everybody's like, oh, I can do this, I must have EDS, or but just so many weird things. And yes, dislocations is part of it. My hip dislocates, but also, osteoarthritis is a big thing. I have horrible osteoarthritis inside of my neck and my back, which has now finally been confirmed. BTW, steroid shots don't work unless it's rheumatoid arthritis. Don't let those people touch you because it can decay the tissue around. And chiropractors, they can kill you. Be careful. If your doctor says go for it, you go for it. I'm not a doctor. All I know is that I've talked to hundreds of them, and they all say don't do it. That's bad juju. So, EDS, can it be cured? No. You're going to deal with it for the rest of your life. And you are going to have to find a way to deal with it for the rest of your life. How do I deal with it? I deal with it with sarcasm and putting my makeup on every day and acting as normal as possible, even though I hurt horribly bad. But you know what? That's what drugs are for. And that's why I go to pain management. That's why I have doctors and physicians that now understand that I'm in pain and that I'm not just making it up because everything is unstable. I have a walker. It's actually right over there. I have a cute cane. I actually have 2 of them. And I have a wheelchair for when I'm at work because I do sales. And I can't stand up for 9 hours at a time anymore because either my hips will dislocate, or everything will swell up, or I will be in the worst pain of my life that day and the next day. So, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, super fun stuff. Takes a long time for you to get diagnosed. You need to go to a geneticist, talk to your primary care. What I would do and what I've helped people do, I've actually gotten quite a few people diagnosed just because I don't want them to go through what I went through, and it was torture. So what you need to do, of course, Google this stuff, okay? See what you think. I'm a fan of Google now because that's how I found out that I had it when nobody else believed me. Get your symptoms, write them down with what else they have. Put it on a big notebook. Bring it in to your primary care. Make sure you have your past family history inside of it. Aortic recessions, heart murmurs, mitral valve prolapse, all of that good stuff is part of EDS. Bring that into your primary care. Say, look, doc, I think I have this because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z. And then you say, I need to go to a geneticist because I need to be tested. Now, the geneticist can make its decision there because he has like 100-question test and you have to go by so many things, and sometimes the genes pop up if you have it, sometimes they don't. Other times if you have like vascular EDS, which thank God I don't have that one. That one's absolutely horrible. It'll just show up in blood work. They did a skin scraping on me, and skin biopsy, and they did the whole review thing and everything popped positive. So yeah, after you go to geneticists, they're going to test you, and then after that, you're going to be you're going to have a whole slew of doctors after that. You're probably going to have a rheumatologist, a cardiologist, a geneticist, of course, your primary care doctor, a neurologist. I mean, you're going to have more doctors than you're going to have friends. Okay? So, and they're all going to want to poke and prod you because you're a cool thing. You're like the new cool kid on the block. And if you want them to do that, that's fine. But I started getting tired of it because I don't want to be a guinea pig. And, yeah, and if they want to do like studies, have them pay you because you're too cool to not earn money because you're awesome by being super stretchy or being able to put your foot behind your head while you stand up. So, yeah, in a nutshell, Ehlers Danlos syndrome, fun stuff. I'll make another video. I actually go back this week to talk about getting a shunt put in my head because my CSF fluid in the back of my head is not draining properly into my spine. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So, EDS, love it. Get diagnosed. People don't know about it. You're not faking it. Yeah, love you guys. Deuces.